Why all of a sudden India needs to protect its own ports? How has India decided to secure its maritime gateways? And how an anti-drone system is going to protect the Kandla port? The warfare is changing. A single drone strike on any of our ports could lead to heavy economic losses that could be comprehended in crores. And that is why India is getting first port-specific anti-drone surveillance system and utilization system at Deendayal port, which is located in Kandla, Gujarat. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we will understand that why this anti-drone surveillance system is of not just a luxury but of strategic importance, how it is signaling a strategic shift that we are seeing in India, what was the trigger and what are the consequences of such things. So when we talk about this particular first port-specific anti-drone system that is being installed with 580 crores, that is almost 6.6 million in Kandla Deendayal port. The reason this port was specifically chosen, especially because of the recent Operation Sindoor that took place. So after Operation Sindoor, there were retaliations and there were drones which were detected in this particular area because Kandla port is important for Indian economy. Can you let me know in the comment section why do you think Kandla port is of such importance that any drone strike would be hitting here and we will be bleeding economically, and then we have decided to put an anti-drone system particularly here. When we talk about this particular location, this has been chosen as a subsequent action and the doctrine that follows with Operation Sindoor, and this marks a strategic shift. How come it is a strategic shift? When I'm saying strategic shift, it basically highlights the fact that how warfare has become hybrid in nature. It is not just about protecting on land and protecting on sea. We need to protect our economic assets as well. And this is also highlighting the fact that we need to be militarily prepared, but at the same time, we have to show economic resilience, and these are coming together now. So economic resilience through the trade that is happening in the port, but at the same time military preparedness for the protection of that port itself. So India is coming with this strategic shift and the foresightedness of protecting such important economic assets. Now when we are talking about this particular anti-drone shield which is being put up at Kandla port, we need to know where this port becomes of significant importance. So first we need to start from the historical background. Now this port is significant for India as well because this came to take the place of Karachi port. Just after partition, when India split it up into three factions, we had East Pakistan, West Pakistan and India. When Karachi port went to the Pakistan dominion, we need a replacement port, and this was when Kandla port came into picture. Now, Kandla port was inaugurated by Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru back in 1950s, and it is responsible for one of the heaviest cargo movement that is seen from that particular region. Now, initially I had asked you about the importance of Kandla port. When we talk about the importance, we have to understand the numbers and facts here. So when we are talking about Kandla port, we have to understand that almost 150 million metric tons of cargo is handled in this port, and more than 3,000 vessels are also managed. If we talk about trading of different goods, not just petroleum, chemicals, grains, but also salt, iron ore and other containers move, and almost investment worth 30,000 crore has already been made in cargo terminals and also shipbuilding projects in this valley area. So the significance is high, the importance is high, the economic numbers which are going around are high, but at the same time the vulnerability also becomes higher. So when we are talking about vulnerability, you have to understand this area is housing 1,200 storage tank, which includes hazardous chemicals, acid, ammonia, edible oil, and a single drone strike could lead to a chemical disaster, could lead to chemical leakage, environmental disaster, disruption in national supply chain, trade, etc. So, we are understanding the essence and we are also understanding the vulnerability that this particular port faces, and that is why this decision to shield it with anti-drone surveillance as well as neutralization system. As I said, the initial trigger definitely comes from Operation Sindoor, and after that we had seen that there were drones as well as UCAV strikes on Indian ports and air bases. Now, as a consequence, we had seen, especially during that time, you will remember from the news that there were blackouts, especially in the areas which were more vulnerable, be it Jammu airport, be it Kandla port. And just after that, we have seen Mundra port is in Gujarat, and it is one of the biggest commercial ports of India. And that has already seen a drop in cargo in terms of 6.2%. So, the consequences of such incidents do affect the economic interests of the country, and that is why India has taken a step ahead. Now, let us understand this step ahead, that what is the system that is being. Such incidents are clear highlights of the fact that economic hubs remain the main center of the changing nature of warfare when the warfare is becoming hybrid, and it becomes very important to protect any strategically important or vulnerable areas just like military bases. That is why just after Operation Sindoor, DPA had decided that anti-drone systems need to be procured and need to be placed. Now let us talk about this anti-drone shield specifically, which is being installed for the first port specific region. Now this is a multi-layered architecture that we are going to see in the anti-drone surveillance system. The first layer is the detection layer, where there is radars for autonomous drones, there are RF detectors for operator communication, so radio frequency can be detected, there is electro-optical and thermal cameras for real-time tracking. So this is for detecting or understanding the presence of drone or unmanned vehicles that could be existing. The second layer that has been put in place is for command and control layer. So this is where we will find the presence of data fusion and command center. There will be or AI enabled or ML powered friend or foe classification. So AI is also being integrated for understanding the threat and classifying it if it is friendly or enemy based, and there will be unified airspace monitoring as well. And the third and the final layer comes with the neutralization part, that is the neutralization layer. And we have seen that soft skill is being focused here. We'll talk about soft skill. So when we are talking about neutralization layer, we have RF jamming, GNSS spoofing, direct energy weapons which are present, and drone will be either forced to land or crash or return to their operator. So the idea here is, when I am talking about soft kill, is to make sure that there is minimal or no damage to the area itself. Now for that, what we want? We want either the drone to return to the operator to not be able to operate in that area, or crash on its own on the other side, or it could easily land, and the technology will be used for this. And that is why soft kill has been focused, and it has been rationalized as well, because it is safer than hard kill methods. If you are using guns, missiles, it is comparatively safer. Then there is another factor, that it prevents any kind of chain reaction. If we are talking about 1200 tanks with chemicals, explosives which are present in port, if any explosion, firing takes place, then there might be a chain reaction that might be set up. We don't want that. So what do we do for that? We are focusing on soft kill, that the drone does not explode or the guns or missiles are not being used. And the third factor, that there will be a protection radius, 15-kilometer protection radius, which will focus on early neutralization. That the neutralization will be taking as soon as possible, so that the port is not directly harmed. Now, this is a commendable step when we are talking about military preparedness as well as economic resilience, and that is why here we have to understand that it has national significance and policy implications as well. When we are talking about national significance, it clearly highlights the fact that the Indian security has entered a new era. There is a new standard for port defense, and this will be replicated in other ports, be it JNPT, be it Vizag, Paradeep. All the important ports would be brought up to the same standard. Then we are also seeing the focus on economic security. We are not just putting an anti-drone system. This is not some sort of luxury. This is a bare minimum safety requirement where we are protecting 150 million metric tons worth of annual cargo. We are securing our supply chains, our energy imports, exporters, and we are also focusing and safeguarding India's image, that there can be trade reliability, there can be trade protection that will be seen in this very area. So, I would like to re-emphasize the point that the idea here is not giving a certain luxury to the port. The idea is the protection itself, and that can be very clearly seen embedded in the defense doctrine shift that is right in front of us, where we are not focusing on reactive coastal defense, rather we are moving to proactive and AI-driven defense. We are also maintaining a synergy between tri-services operation. It is not just any more about land, air, sea, but rather low cost ammunition such as drones, and we need to bring private defense tech firms as well. For example, Indrajal infra has already been deployed at other naval bases. So this is where we will see the defense sector booming in another periphery, and private sector would also be participating in the same. Now that was all from my side. Thank you so much.